What if everything you've been told about self-improvement is actually making your life worse? We've erected a whole enterprise on the assumption that we're inherently broken, relentlessly repairing ourselves as if we're defective instruments. Yet here's the revolutionary reality. The basic idea that you need fixing is the only actual problem. Think of an ocean wave, abruptly gaining awareness and panicking because it's not rigid like rock, because it endlessly modifies shape. The wave would attempt mending itself to achieve consistency. How ludicrous would that be? Yet this is exactly how we humans operate each day. The wave is already ideal, yet we've persuaded ourselves that we're defective works needing perpetual reconstruction. We've been given a reversed tale. You possess issues requiring resolution, parts demanding betterment, and if you labor sufficiently and find the appropriate method, you can ultimately repair yourself and evolve into your proper self. This narrative is so embedded in our society that we seldom challenge it. We recognize our state as permanent projects being refined. Yet what if this basic idea is completely inside out? Here's something radical. You were never incomplete, never unfinished, never an issue requiring resolution. The only aspect demanding correction is the notion that you need correction. Consider the natural world. When you look at a tree, you don't evaluate its branches as inadequate. The tree is beautiful exactly as it is. It grows and responds to its environment, but doesn't organize summits about personal growth. We humans have created this faculty to become our own reviewers and directors. We peer in the mirror and notice a repair project demanding work. Trees gain wisdom too, uncovering which way to stretch toward light, how to drive roots deeper into earth. However, trees don't afflict themselves over insufficient size. They reply instinctively to what existence delivers. The contrast is trees believe in their essence, while we've been programmed to mistrust ours. We've been conditioned to view our impulses as untrustworthy, our answers presumably mistaken. So we develop an internal supervisor evaluating everything we do. Am I accomplishing sufficient work? Am I evolving at the correct rate? It's tiring, like having a micromanager in your head, perpetually judging you insufficient. But this critic isn't your actual being. It's adopted evaluations. Received criteria from family, teachers, and the world. You've incorporated a board, making you feel eternally deficient. But who witnesses this counsel? Who watches these critiques? Something within you observes this theater without getting entangled. That essence is what you truly are. You're not the notions regarding yourself. You are the awareness in which all this appears, like weather systems moving through sky. The sky is never hurt by meteorological events. Storms come and go, but the sky continues boundless. Likewise, thoughts of lacking emerge and fade, but your true self remains unmarked. You can transform and develop without the narrative that you're essentially damaged. Notice young children mastering walking. They collapse frequently. Do they create narratives about being defective? Not at all. They get up and try again because walking looks fun. Learning emerges naturally, spontaneously, without self-critique. There are two strategies for transformation. One believes you're defective, like a repairman working on a faulty machine. The other recognizes you're already whole, like a gardener trusting innate flourishing. The technician strives while the gardener cooperates with life. Most growth strategies are machine-like. We manage ourselves like devices needing enhanced programming. However, what if you're more like a garden holding inherent wisdom? When you have faith in this knowledge, you end struggling against yourself. Instead of forcing yourself into molds, you enable your structure to develop. When you discontinue warring with yourself, you free immense energy for being alive. Contemplate how much power you waste critiquing yourself. Imagine if that force were usable for being here now. The person who knows their whole focuses power on expression and finding. Here's something startling. When you stop trying to fix yourself, issues you believed required fixing frequently resolve themselves. When you cease generating self-judgment, your understanding becomes clear. A great portion of what we believe is flawed emerges from trying to repair what was never broken. You may believe you possess an anxiety issue and apply approaches to fix it, yet this attempt generates additional anxiety. What if feeling anxious periodically is totally okay? When you discontinue considering anxiety problematic, it often evaporates naturally. We've been taught to think we ought to feel certain emotions, delighted, certain, peaceful. But emotions are the weather of consciousness, occasionally rough, occasionally placid. This isn't malfunction. The same applies to personality traits we see as flaws. Perhaps you're introverted in a society valuing extroversion. Rather than adjusting these qualities, recognize them as your unique addition. Oaks don't try transforming into pines. Rivers don't apologize for not being mountains. When you embrace your essence fully, something fantastic emerges. You stop wasting energy being something you're not. This doesn't mean you never learn, but growth emerges from interest rather than deficiency. You grow because expansion is fun. Children don't struggle with imagination. They just envision organically and easily. We acquired the habit of mistrusting organic intelligence. We've turned our internal world into a business with performance metrics. However, your authentic nature persists, waiting for you to recall you were never damaged to begin with. Here's an apparent contradiction. The more you endeavor to improve yourself, the more you reinforce needing improvement. However, when you understand you were never flawed, enhancement takes place organically, easily. When you trust your true nature, evolution happens like flowers opening, magnificently in their own time. This isn't passivity, but trust in the knowledge that makes your heart beat. So here's a proposal. Carry out a test. For a single day, end trying to correct yourself. View that day as a gift to embrace. Meet emotions without changing them. Perceive thoughts without judging. Treat yourself like a trusted friend with kindness, patience, and humor. You might learn you're amazing exactly as you are. This is the secret. You were never damaged. You're already complete, already enough. You're not divided from existence. You are life expressing itself in human form, and life is a festival. We're all waves in the same sea, each distinct, each whole, each fleeting. When you perceive this as actual experience, you can finally relax into being who you are. Your authentic self is more magnificent than your imagined ideal. You don't need to transform into more lifelike because you are life delighting in being you. The wave is the sea playing at being separate. If this truth connected with you, I genuinely invite you to subscribe to the channel. Follow for more content that challenges traditional beliefs about self-development and personal improvement. And drop a comment below with the word whole to show me you're prepared to embrace your total, intact nature exactly as you are right now.